Hey guys, it's Max from Closed In, and today I want to show you like a live build of how we at Closed In go to market for ourselves and for our partners, like a cool way that we are implementing at the moment, and I think is quite relevant. It has to do with Claude Code. So I'm sure like a lot of you have seen Claude Code almost everywhere lately. And I think it has a lot of cool use cases, but I think at the same time, for a lot of people, it's still vague and complicated on how to use it. And also everything is evolving so quickly that everybody has to stay up with so much information that I thought it would be relevant to kind of show how we are trying to use it at the moment and a workflow that has shown to give us good results. First of all, to use Claude Code, you need a terminal. So I'm just going to walk you through like the whole process from start to finish and how we are basically building a list, expanding a list, qualifying the list, and basically having it ready to do outreach to this list. And the idea behind it is that we can use public directories and get a bigger portion of the TAM that we can reach out to, and that it is also more qualified than with traditional lead databases like Apollo and even Clay. Like Clay, of course, pulls a lot of data together, but it's still like Claude Code can go beyond that in some cases, and I think this is one of those. So let's dive right in. First of all, like I said, you need a terminal. So I work on a MacBook, and the terminal is, you can go to Launchpad and just type terminal, and there we're going to open the terminal. Let's see, I have it right here. Okay, so already here, this is where you can already start doing different things, like using different terminals or using CLIs or IDEs like Cursor and Codex. You might have heard those. For the sake of this video, I don't want to overcomplicate it, and I'm just going to use the regular Mac terminal. So first step is to open Claude Code in the terminal. You can just type the command Claude and it will open it. Yeah, I want to trust this folder. And now to start the build, I really like to just talk to AI, like you've also seen other people do. For that I use Super Whisper, and I just use a command key on my Mac, and it opens the window to have like a voice recording. And I just noticed that the output I get from the AI models just gets so much better because I can explain in more detail than when I'm typing. So let's start there. And to give you like some background info on the type of build that I want to do some outreach to recruitment companies, doing outreach to or doing placements specifically in IT. And the specification here is that I want to reach out to recruitment firms in the US, not only doing placements in IT, but specifically placing AI roles. So let's start from there and see what Claude Code can give us. Hey Claude, I would like you to search for public directories stating recruitment firms specifically in the US and specifically specialized in IT recruitment. So they have to place IT professionals in firms, preferably in the US. So all the companies need to be US based that we're going after. The recruitment firms need to be in the US. And ideally they're placing roles that are AI related. See what you can find, and yeah, give me back what you can find. Okay, we paste it in, and here we go. So now it's gonna start running, and sometimes it can start running for like a very long time, and you're gonna have like stuff that you need to accept, like bash commands and like this. Yeah. For the sake for time's sake, I'm just gonna pause it here and get back to you when we have the result. Okay, so we got some output from Claude Code, and basically it's giving me lists of companies here that should be IT recruitment companies from the US. Right now, what is an interesting use case that we've been using Claude Code for is to not just rely on Claude Code, but actually combine other external APIs with Claude Code, because I think that's where the real power lies. Because Claude Code is good at writing code, it can scrape, but it's not necessarily the use case of Claude Code to scrape. There's other tools that are actually better for that. So what I want to do right now is use these companies that Claude Code found and get a more extensive list with similar companies. And we're going to use the tool Exa for that. So Exa.ai is an API key that can scrape other companies that are lookalikes to a specific list of input companies. So here we have the list of input companies, and we're going to use that to extend the list, like I just said. What I didn't do before, and what is actually I would quite advise you guys to do, is that you have different modes inside of Claude Code that you can cycle through. So if I press Shift and Tab on the bottom left, let's see, you can see that it now has accept edits on, and here we have plan mode. And if you keep pressing, you just cycle through. I would suggest or advise to work from plan mode. It's going to use some more credits from the more tokens, because it's going to curate a plan. But what it allows you to do is to understand the steps that Claude is taking and adjust those steps. And a lot of the times you're going to notice that you need to iterate with Claude Code, because it's quite intelligent, but still a lot of stuff it doesn't get on the first go, either because it doesn't get it or maybe you didn't explain it correctly, which is also possible. So it's always nice to see the plan, because otherwise it's going to go off in the wrong direction very quickly and you're not going to understand the output. So for this one, I am going to put it on plan mode so you can see how it works. Okay, I'm going to open Super Whisper again. Okay, this is looking good. What I want you to do now is use the top 5 to 10 domains that look highest potential to you, and use the Exa API key that you have already to find more companies that fit the criteria that we mentioned before. Don't ever expose my API key in the output. And there we go. Of course, very important that it's not going to output the API key. Okay, now it's going to go off to work again. I'm going to again pause the video and get back to you guys when we get the results. Okay, so it came up with a plan. Here we can look at it. So basically it found the top domains, these 8, and it's proposing like an approach to use the Exa API to find multiple companies that also fit those criteria. It's looking good, so I'm going to accept this plan and let it run and see what we get from it. Let's go. Okay, so we got some results from Exa. We got 57 new unique recruitment firms found through the Exa API. And just to clarify here, the goal is not to find an extremely large list of companies. The goal is to find a very qualified list of companies. So if our TAM in this instance is AI-based recruiting IT firms, the goal is not to find thousands of companies, but really find the few that actually do AI placement positions in the US. And to get that like very niche down is also going to help in the messaging that you're going to do when you reach out to them, right? Because if you can tailor the messaging very well to the recipient, it's going to land way better than some general messaging. So this is looking good. Now we go to the next step. So Exa tried to find more companies similar to the first companies we found, and it did that. But still, we want to go like one layer deeper to qualify this even better. What we're going to use for that is Firecrawl. And what Firecrawl can do is it can scrape domains and scrape their entire HTML for an LLM to analyze. So basically what that means is that it can scrape several domain pages, website pages, and analyze that data with an AI model. That is what I want to do right now to understand even better who these companies are and if they are indeed qualified for our use case. So this is going to be again Super Whisper. Here we go. Okay, this is looking good. Now I want you to use my Firecrawl API to qualify these companies an extra time. What I want is to check for is for you to check the domains and see if these IT recruitment companies actually offer AI roles, like the placements of AI roles. Also, I would like to do outreach after this step, and I want you to try to find some interesting data points that we might be able to use or mention to them. So scrape the website and see if you can find like something interesting to mention to all of these companies. Either like specific job titles or maybe some stuff that happened recently or that they posted about recently. And just to clarify, I want you to use the Firecrawl API for that. All right, now I'm going to paste that again and run it. Okay, so we got the output from the Firecrawl scrape. 57 firms were analyzed, 19 confirmed AI recruitment, and we can see that some are disqualified and actually 13 didn't have AI. So that's why it's a good thing that we run the Firecrawl scrape. Here's also giving us like some examples of stuff that we can use, like a personalization hook. Reading through these, I don't really like them. I don't think we're going to use this. But I think that, let me look through what I can see here. Yeah, so it's giving us back some unique details, which I think can be quite interesting to use. Maybe potentially we can push it back into Clay and write some personalization from there, or even run an extra prompt here, which is possible. And here we have the ones that didn't have AI. Let's see. Yeah, so here it's summarizing personalization, the hook, specific roles they place. I think that's quite interesting to mention. Yeah, niche crossovers. I think that's okay. So all in all, I think you get a pretty good understanding of a possible workflow which combines Claude Code, XAI, and Firecrawl. You can get creative with this, of course. Try the niches that you want to reach out to. Yeah, some background. We actually run Claude Code on the $100 a month plan. We noticed that on the $20 a month, the rate limits are like super low. If you really want to run stuff like this, and especially with plan mode and continuously iterating and asking to refine. And for example, now that we see the output and I'm like, okay, I want to maybe get the personalization better. You're going to notice that you're going to run through the rate limits quite quickly. So if you really want to use it at scale, I would recommend that plan. Yeah, I hope it was clear like this. And yeah, good luck building yourself. If you have any questions about go-to-market, outreach, or yeah, you're just looking to find out more, check us out, Closed In, here on YouTube or on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, reach out to me, Max Münsterman, on either YouTube or LinkedIn, or anyone on the Closed In team. Okay, that's it for this one, guys, and see you later. Ciao, ciao.